We kind of glanced on this next question there, but I'd like you to amplify it. Question number 6. Organic social media does not work for 99% of dental practice owners who are not influencers. How should these 99% think about organic social media?
Absolutely. I would echo what you said. They absolutely need to have an Instagram page and a Facebook page. One caveat or one recommendation I would recommend is don't spend more than 1 hour a week on that page because it's not going to bring you new patients. And don't spend more than $100 a month for organic social media because you can't outsource it. Nobody else can make you a star. It's like nobody else can make Oprah. Oprah is Oprah. So either you become that star or it's not going to drive you new patients. But it's a checklist. People will, some of them, not all of them, will see if you have just like they want to make sure you have a phone and, all of that stuff. They'll make sure you have a Facebook page and Instagram page. So pay attention to it. There's a, comment or question, answer it. So that's what I'm saying, an hour a week. But
and usually that's a team member.
Yes.
That's usually managed by a team member that has an interest in social media,
Yes.
who's a champion of your practice and likes to always make sure your practice is being represented in the best possible light. And that's a really good way to handle that. And I like your suggestions on amount of time and amount of money invested in it. Makes a lot of sense. All right, let's pivot. What about social media ads? So I'm going to ask this. This is 3 questions in one.
Right.
I'll do one at a time. What about social media ads?
Yeah. So social media ads, remember we talked about SEO, Google ads, and social media ads. It's the next most expensive, but the next best option. So again, you can say to Facebook, hey, target this area, this mile radius, maybe target people of this age group. I want my ad to show up between these hours, right? So you can provide some criteria. But what you cannot do is, unlike Google ads, where you can literally say the keyword, like, okay, I only want to target people who are looking for implants because they typed in the word implant. You cannot do that with social media. So if you were to compare the amount of time, so that is what social media ads are. So I guess I answered your first question.
Yeah. And how do they compare to SEO and Google ads from a cost standpoint? So, you just for our listeners' benefit,
Yeah.
You can buy Facebook ads.
Yes.
You can buy Instagram ads. You can buy TikTok ads. But
Yes.
I think it's fair to say, I'm gonna make a very blunt statement. I don't think people are on Facebook to find a dentist. I think they're on Facebook to connect with their friends.
Yes.
Grandparents are on Facebook so they can see, their grandkids' soccer photos. They're not there. And the ads, how do you react when you see an ad? When you're on Facebook to connect with your community and these ads pop up, for the most part, they're a nuisance. And they're getting in the way of what you're actually on social media for, which is stay connected to your tribe.
Exactly.
So my opinion there, but let's talk about how do they compare to SEO and Google ads from a cost standpoint?
Absolutely. So another way to think about it is how much time does a person spend if they come from SEO versus Google ads versus social media ads? If they come from SEO, they'll spend 90 seconds. If they come from Google ads, they'll spend 15 seconds. If they come from social media ads, they will spend 5 seconds. Why is that? SEO versus Google ads. SEO, they trust it. Google ads, they don't. So instead of spending 90 seconds, they're only giving you 15 seconds because they don't trust you. They're like, what's the catch? They're looking to leave. So they leave pretty quickly. So there is a 600% or 6x difference. Now between Google ads and social media ads, why does it drop from 15 seconds to 5 seconds? I think you started talking about it, Gary, which is intention. The intention of the person on social media, and modern day social media, as it's all video driven. I'm really tired. I want to veg out. In the old days, we sit in front of the couch. I mean, sit on the couch in front of the TV. Now we sit with our phone and we just keep scrolling and watching those videos. And what does TikTok do? What does Instagram do? They know what you like. They keep showing you more of those things. You like cat videos, you're going to see tons of cat videos every day. You hate politics, you will never see politics. Oh, on the other hand, you like politics, you're going to see tons of stuff from politicians, right? So they'll keep showing you these things. Now imagine an ad shows up for an ad, right? You're watching your cat video, your politician video, and an ad shows up. You don't even remember you clicked on that ad many times. So you might even, quote unquote, fill out a form or press a button. But then when the dental office calls you, you're like, who are you? I don't even remember clicking on that ad.
Right.
So the cost of a social media ad, to directly answer your question, is at least 2 times more than even Google ads. And again, when I say cost, I'm saying cost per new patient. When you really look at how many people show up and how many people become patients, it's the most expensive of these 3 options. SEO is the lowest, Google ads is the next, and then of course, social media ads.
Naren, I'll share my experience with one possible exception. Is
Yes.
that can I take exception with one point?
Absolutely, Gary.
We have found in my coaching work that there is a very specific type of ad that works well with social media. And that's the ad for your in-office membership plan.
Yes.
So, for example, if you have a membership plan for your patients that don't have insurance, and you could do a simple ad that simply says, no dental insurance, no problem. Ask us about our, and then include your name, our Smile Savers Plan. And they click on that ad. And if you have your marketing act together, when they click on the ad, it'll go to a landing page on your website that explains your membership plan. Now, let's be clear. Nobody's on Facebook to learn about your membership plan. They aren't. Grandma's looking for the soccer game photos. She's not looking for your ad. But it's just interesting enough for them to get diverted. No dental insurance, no problem. Ask us about our, plug your name there. You can do that, and you can budget it whatever you want. Could be $100 a month, $200 a month, whatever you want. An advantage to being an Echo client is that if they're an Echo client, Aaron, a client of yours, you guys manage those ads at no additional cost. The client simply pays the media buy to Facebook. And the other channel, it's a more obscure channel that it's worked on, is LinkedIn.
Yes.
There's a lot of
especially employers, right, who are looking for.
Well, there's two types of people on LinkedIn. One would be executive level people looking for their next job. Mm-hmm. So if they don't have a job, guess what they don't have?
Insurance.
Dental insurance. But also small to medium companies looking for those executives. So now you could get individuals that way, but you could also get the company that has 50 employees that sees your membership plan and say, wow, this is way better than signing up for Delta. It's way better than signing up for traditional insurance. And then they sign up their entire team using your membership plan. That's an exception, a very narrow exception, but I did want to point that out. Would you agree with my comments related to that?
Absolutely, Gary. And I just want to make sure that everyone is understanding. I'm not saying Google ads don't work or Facebook or social media ads don't work. I'm just saying it's more expensive, when you look at apples to apples. But you're right. The reason it really works with membership plans is people don't go to Google and type in membership plans because they don't realize it's an option.
Well, that's not even a phrase they
type in.
They know.
Exactly.
I mean, they might go to Google and type in dental implants.
Yes, exactly.
Or adult orthodontics.
Exactly.
Or I don't like my smile.
Yes.
Those are things they would type. But I don't think there's a human being on the planet that's going to type in dental membership plans. They don't know what that is.
Exactly. It's a new thing.
The beauty of that ad is so simple. No dental insurance, no problem. Ask us about our Smile Savers Plan.
Exactly.
All right. I'm on question 8. You stated that search engine optimization is 1/5 to 1/20th the cost of Google ads and social media ads. What's the catch? My grandmother said, if it sounds too good to be true, maybe it is. So what's the catch, Naren?
Absolutely. You kind of alluded to this, but I'll give you the proper explanation. Google made $224 billion from Google ads in 2022, right? Just to kind of, most of us cannot understand or comprehend what $224 billion is because we never had $224 billion. If you were to stack up Google ads as a country, it would rank ahead of 150 countries, meaning Google ads revenues per year is bigger than the GDP, the entire gross domestic product, meaning all the people in that country produce in that year of 150 countries, right? So it's unbelievable how much money they make.
I mean, it's literally got the economic strength of a powerful country.
Exactly.
One business has the economic clout of a major country.
Major country. Exactly. So if I'm Google, I want to keep that $224 billion growing, right? Because otherwise, why would my stock price go up? Why would my CEO get a bigger bonus? I'm the CEO of the company, right? So the way they do that is they make SEO really, 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 really difficult. So you kind of alluded to it before. 5% of the practices get all the free traffic, while the other 95% get almost no free traffic, which means they have to be one of the people who's giving Google $224 billion, right? Think about it. So there aren't a billion business owners. So there's maybe a few million business owners. So if all of them get free traffic, there's nobody to pay Google. So what do? You make the people who are going to pay you bigger, and you make the people who get the free stuff smaller. Just like social media needs organic social media influencers, right? Because who are those creating the videos that million people watch? Same way, who are those creating the content and the websites that people are looking for, right? That's what you go to Google for. You go to see the organic results. You don't go to see the paid ads. So they want to make sure that pool is tiny as possible. So that's the catch. So the catch is, can you get into the top 5%? Can you get into one of the top 5% websites who's going to get 95% of the free traffic?
Well, that gives me a nice bridge into the next question. So we shared with you that only 5% of the websites on the World Wide Web earn organic traffic. And again, translate that to us, only 5% of the dental websites on the World Wide Web will get organic traffic. How do I get into the top 5% who get 95% of the free Google SEO traffic? How do I get there?
Absolutely. So we have an episode just on this topic. So I'm just going to give a high-level description, Gary, of these 6 things. And I want to give you an analogy, right? Getting into the top dental school, you have to ace your GPA from undergrad. You have to ace your interview. You have to ace your recommendation. There's a bunch of things you have to ace.
DAT, they've got to get a great DAT.
DAT score, exactly. So you have to ace these things. And then if you ace all of them, then you have a decent chance of getting into the top dental school. Now, dental school is not free. SEO is free. So there is even more, this is even harder. So what you have to do is you have to ace 6 things, and you have to ace them every day, every week, every month. The minute you stop acing any one of those 6 things, you immediately drop from being in the top 5%, and you become now part of the 95% club who's getting almost no traffic.
So if you want to get, I don't have a cynical bone in my body, but
right.
Aaron, if I was cynical, I might think, well, you're kind of swimming against the tide with Google, because Google would rather have you be in the 95% that doesn't get organic traffic, because then the only way to win is you got to give money.
Exactly.
So you really, is the deck stacked against it.
100%. So the 6 things that Google is looking at, and you have to ace every week to get into the top 5%, are NAP, name, address, phone number, consistency. We'll put a link to that episode. Lighthouse score. So are you getting all the things that Google looks at on a page-by-page level right? Again, it's very technical. There are 60 things Google looks at, and if you get all of them right, you will get a good lighthouse score. Google Eat. It doesn't affect all practices, but it affects healthcare practices. And are you applying those Google Eat principles on page by page by page by page? Original content. Is every word, or at least 95% of the words on your website, compliant with Google's original content standards? So Google is looking for quantity and quality. You need to have minimum 400 words and 380 words, which means 95% have to be original. You can't even copy a sentence from someone else and expect to rank highly on Google. Backlinks. What are the sites linking to you? Are those good links? Are those bad links? And last but not least, Google reviews. Who is writing a review? Are they writing paragraph reviews? What are they saying? What keywords are they using? So if you do all of these 6 things extremely well, day in and day out, week in and week out, then you can be in the top 5%. What Google realizes, you being in the top 5% is not in their interest. What did they do? They changed their algorithms 3,000 times a year, which means 10 times a day. So in other words, the rules are changing 10 times a day. So the rules that were there yesterday are not there today. So just because you ranked yesterday doesn't mean you're going to rank today. So the secret is you need a team, an army, literally. In our company, we have 250 people broken out into 14 teams, and 9 of those teams are SEO focused teams. So you need an army focused on all these 6 things Google cares about, and they have to work on these 6 things day in and day out on your behalf.
Awesome, Darren. And again, I'll simply respond as my experience as a client. We get monthly statistics showing us exactly where we are. For example, one of the stats that we get is how many keywords and key phrases are we ranking for on page one when someone in our community is searching for a dentist. And most recently, Naren, our most recent was December. As at the time of recording this, the most recent completed month was December. And we were on page one for over 900, I think it was 904, keywords and key phrases on page one. That means 900 specific words or phrases. We're on page one. And typically, we're in the number one position organically. Our goal is to be in the top three, 1, 2, or 3. And based on just continuous effort on your part, we're almost always in a position one for that. So, Naren, I've got question number 10, and then I actually have a rapid fire round coming up after this. I've got 3 specific questions in a rapid fire round. But before I get to that one, question number 10. If I want to dominate Google and see where I am with digital marketing, where do I start?
Yeah, I think hopefully today you got a big picture overview, right? Yes, you can do PPO, but if you're producing $1 million, you may have to give the insurance company $500,000 in these hidden fees. Or you can do ads. Again, there are great options, but it's more expensive. The best option obviously is SEO. So I really think, like, what my mother taught me when I was, little is always do the most important things first. So I don't know if you can get into the top 5%, that's what I would explore first. So maybe find out, like, on these 6 things Google cares about, how are you doing? Are you doing some of them extremely well, some of them poorly? And develop a plan to get into the top 5%.
So some
That's
of
where
those are kind of easy, Aaron. Like, for example, if you want to find out how many Google reviews you have, go to your Google My Business page and look at it. Okay, that's easy. But most dentists won't know how to find their Lighthouse score.
Yes.
So help walk them through the ones that are a little more nerdy or less, more obscure. How can they find out what their Lighthouse score is? How can they find if their copy on their website is written for Google Eat? How can they find out if they've got duplicate content on their website?
Absolutely, Gary. So again, this is nerdy. So this is only for the nerdy dentists. If you take notes, if you are interested. So for example, if you want to find out how you're doing with original content, you can sign up to a product called Copyscape. Copyscape.com. You pay them money, and then you have to punch in the specific web pages. So let's say you have 100 pages, punch them in one by one, and Copyscape will say if you have any copied content. So it's going to take a couple of hours. You can do that. That's probably the easiest thing you can do. Lighthouse Code is much, much, much harder. So you have to install a particular toolkit, then you have to run every page through, and then it'll tell you what your score is in 5 different areas. Again, page by page by page, it'll tell you what you need to do to fix it, right? So that could take maybe 8 hours, 6 hours for you to completely study how you're doing with Lighthouse Code. The trick with Lighthouse Code is it's always changing. In other words, because Google algorithms for Lighthouse are changing at least once a week, you have to check it the next week. So you need, like, somebody dedicated to finding a Lighthouse course, finding these issues, and fixing them. Now,
so for those of you that don't have, dozens of hours of time to do that, I have a shortcut. Schedule a marketing strategy meeting with Equa, where you'll meet Lila Stone. Lila's their director of marketing, and she will do all this for you, and she'll share all your ranking with Google. She'll tell you where you are. She'll tell you whether you have duplicate content on your any of your page. She'll tell you which ones. She'll tell you what your Lighthouse scores are. She'll tell you all the different criteria, whether your copy is written in such a way that is compliant with Google Eat. And if you'd like to do that, Naren, you offer that as a courtesy to our listeners at no cost. They can go to equa.com/MSM marketing strategy meeting. I'm nerdy and I like doing nerdy stuff, but I'll draw the line, and I'm drawing the line there. Much easier for me to schedule a marketing strategy meeting than do all that work myself. That's just my thinking. All right, Naren, I've got a lightning round for you. So 3 questions. They're very specific questions. Answer them quickly. and I think this will be fun. Rapid fire round number one. Should I consider direct mail?
No, I don't think you should consider direct mail in most cases, because again, we track everything. So we put a tracking number with Google ads, social media ads, organic social media, and SEO, and we compare the cost. My experience in general is it's really, really expensive. Now, there are a few exceptions like everything else. Even Gary gave an exception for social media ads where it will work effectively. Like for example, if you're targeting a certain community, let's say, people who are looking for implants, and maybe you have a list of those people who are living in this building or these 7 buildings, maybe you could send something to them, maybe invite them for an event where they can come and learn about dentures, and maybe have some wine for that event. So you're not really marketing the dentist, you're marketing the event. And sometimes, people who are in a nursing home might have extra time to open the mail and read the mail and see the event, and oh, it's only 3 blocks away and I'll go there. And so there are unique circumstances where it'll be effective, but in general, just spray and pray, I don't think works, Gary.
Well, I think, there's a saying, kind of a pop saying that something has jumped the shark. And what that was a reference to an old Happy Days. Remember the Happy Days sitcom with the
Yes.
Fonz? And they were running out of ideas on what to do shows about. And they ended up doing a show with Fonzie water skiing on a lake, jumping over a shark, which the ludicrousy of that theme. And what they meant by when something's jumped the shark, it's way past its prime. Well, direct mail is past its prime. Nobody pays attention to direct mail anymore. All right. Rapid fire number 2. Your thoughts on radio ads?
I think radio ads also jumped the shark. I cannot think of any example, at least in the last 4 or 5 years, where somebody told me, "Wow, it's working for me."
Do people listen to the radio in the car anymore? No, they
no, it's Sirius FM,
and they have
podcasts,
Sirius, or they listen to their playlist.
Yeah, exactly.
Their car playlist that they created. They don't want to listen to ads.
Or they're listening to this podcast. You know what I mean? Like, it's just all custom. People want to listen to what they want to listen to. This random ad on a random station. And the other thing that's happening is we have information overload today. So even if they accidentally listen to that single ad when they're going on the radio show, unless they listen to it 40 more times, which means you're going to spend tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, they won't remember you. Like, it's just.
I love this last rapid fire one.
Yeah.
What about sponsoring the local Little League team?
You know what? I think I would say yes on this, Gary. And I think, of course, there are nuances here. For example, let's say you have a family practice and you want to be seen as, one of us, right? Of course, how do you be seen as one of us? Sponsor that team that everybody, rallies behind. Of course, every town has, a team like that, right? Whether it's football or whatever that team is. And I know, Gary, you did an episode where you literally encourage your clients to do mouth guards, right? Especially for, sponsoring a football team.
For the football team.
Exactly.
I agree with you, Naren, on that. And here's how I'd encourage you to think about that. People love to support businesses that support the local community. So any chance you have to advertise, to sponsor a Little League team, to have an ad in their Little League bulletin, to have the banner at the high school, but think of that as charity supporting your community. Don't think of that as, a straight marketing. You were expecting X number of new patients for that. Those are relatively inexpensive things to do. Our local high school has a beautiful track. It's where I run when I run on the track, and they have these banners around the track on the short fence, and they're local businesses. And when you read those, it makes me want to support those local businesses because I know they support the high school.
Right.
But it doesn't necessarily generate new patients for you, but it's a feel-good thing that could have an indirect benefit for you because the community sees that you're supporting the local community.
Absolutely.
Well, Naren, you passed the rapid fire round.
Thank you.
I want to say thanks, Naren. You've shared lots of useful information. I hope our listeners appreciate this. If you want to learn more about how to literally master digital marketing in 2024, set up that marketing strategy meeting. Equa.com/MSM. You're very kind to offer that at no cost. I'll simply close full circle by saying I'm spending less than I ever have, getting better results than I ever have. And that's the same thing we see repeated time and time again with our clients. And I'm very grateful for all the effort you and your team put in to make that happen, Darren.